We're back. Good morning, magandang umaga, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. Well, as you can see from the intro, we are back. We are so happy to be back here in the Philippines, especially here at Villa Feliz. Today, we're going to basically do a review of what's happened around the yard over the past 4 months and talk a little bit about some of the things that we're going to be talking about and showing you in some upcoming videos. So today is going to be a short one, just to let you know that we're back. We're still doing catch-up mode. You know, when you're gone for a few months, whether it be on vacation or wherever you go away from your home, things will catch up on you at your house.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of things
that don't work.
Yeah, that don't work when you get back, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But there's really no big issues around here. I'll start by saying that. Everything looks really good. And I think you'll be surprised at some of the things that actually grew in such a short period of time here at Villa Feliz. When I'm talking about growing, I'm talking about some of the plants in the yard and some of the things that we were working on before we left. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and get today started. So without further delay, let's get today's video underway. Now, before we actually get started with today's episode, I want to thank all of you, the subscribers and the viewers of My PI Dream, for hanging in there over the long vacation that we had back in the U.S. I know we got a lot of questions. When are you going to return? When are you going to return? Because everybody on this channel basically are tuning in to see what life is like inside the Philippines. But we did have about half of our subscribers that hung along with us back in the U.S. to look at some of the projects that we did back there, because we did things like DIY projects and lots of DIY. Well, maybe not lots. I think we had, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 DIY projects. It had to do with, if you tuned in, you saw it was about upgrading some different types of computers. I think we did maybe some stuff with the koi pond. I don't know. Did we do stuff with the koi pond? Some integration projects and things like that. So if you enjoy stuff like that and you didn't get an opportunity to go back and take a look at that and you were waiting for us to go back, you might find some of that stuff pretty interesting. What we're going to do today, we're going to walk around the yard because basically we went into the rainy season while we were gone. I think the rainy season starts in June, and we watched from our CCTV feed back in the US from here at Villa Feliz, and we were able to watch things growing. And there's a big difference between watching them on the CCTV and then coming here actually and looking at the real thing. And I was kind of amazed. I was kind of amazed at some of the things that grew. I was kind of amazed at some of the things that I expected to grow that didn't grow so much. But we'll talk about that as we do a walk around. We're going to do a walkabout around the backyard here at Villa Feliz. Also, upon returning, this is a great neighborhood. I got to tell you, we got some great neighbors here. And this type of an international community, which is, I can pretty much say, this is like an international community because we got a little bit of every nationality kind of around here. We got Germans and British and
every continent representative,
and many of the Philippine citizens here as well. And when you come back home, they greet you with open arms and they greet you with whatever's growing in their backyard. And I will tell you right now, Les and Juliet, they have a house that's not very far from us. They gave us a big bag of the avocados.
These are really big.
These are really big and really ripe. We had that for breakfast this morning as well.
It's expensive
Look at these right here, and they have an avocado tree in their yard. They gave us a big bag. And also, let me show you. You remember Henry, our German friend? Let me show you what he provided for us. And you can see here, that's rambutan, and we didn't plant any rambutan plants in our backyard here in the back of Villa Feliz. We plant a little bit of everything else, but not that, because everybody around here has rambutan, and it always seems, and they have a short season. Their season is like about a month or 6 weeks or something like that, and the trees just get full, and then everybody's giving it away. So I didn't think it was really necessary, and they're really big trees too. And we didn't have enough room in the backyard here as well. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and, by the way, thank you, Henry, thank you, Juliet and Les, for those fruits.
Thank you.
So let's go ahead and take
We made breakfast from avocados.
Yeah, but we had avocado and
Avocado
egg,
toast.
and she made up things with some olive oil and some salt and pepper on toast. It was really good this morning. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and do a walkabout around the yard. Let me show you some of the things that grew, some of the things that didn't grow, and some of the things that happened, the evolution, over just 4 months. Hey, sweetie. Well, it appears that Mary Ann actually gained a little bit of weight over this part of the summer, along with me. And that was the first thing one of the neighbors said to me when I got back, was, my goodness, you gained some weight, didn't you? And yeah, back in the U.S., I always gain weight when I go back to the U.S. Eating opportunities, and Ness cooks a lot when we're back there. Let's see if we can find Hapon real quick. Hey, buddy. Hey, how are you doing today? Huh? Did you have good breakfast this morning? I bet. Well, I got to tell you, I am so happy to be back here with Hapon and Marianne. It's not the same watching them over the CCTV, but our caretaker here, our gardener, he did a great job. Ponciano, he did a great job taking care of the dogs and taking care of the yard. Let's go ahead and look at some of the stuff in the backyard, like I said earlier. Let's go see if you remember what it looked like when we left. We'll take a look and see what it looks like now after rainy season and a few months away. Well, let's start. We'll just start right here. Now remember this calamansi? This calamansi was full. There were tons and tons of calamansi all over the place on here. Now we're down to just a few. I think what probably happened, our gardener, I told him to make sure that all the mature calamansi, you take them with you so that they don't go bad on the plant. So I imagine they'll all be growing back soon. I'm looking for some of the little white buds or blossoms, but I don't see too many right now. But this will stay full. Now I got to show you something. This is crazy. I call this Jurassic Park around here. The Jurassic Park for plants. This. You are not going to believe what this is. This is a lemon. It is like, one of my friends, one of my neighbors said, they have some of the ugliest lemons around here. And we only have one. It's one on this plant, and it's like the size of about at least 10 or 12 lemons. Oh, well, I guess it's ready to be pulled right now. So I guess it just fell off. So I guess what we'll do is we will take this and we will make an entire picture of lemonade with one lemon. Crazy, isn't it?
Look at this. This is a monster.
Now something else, I was extremely surprised when we got back. This is a sun-kissed orange plant. And we just planted this. Remember we went to Takaitai and we picked out some plants from down there? This is a sun-kissed orange, and it's already got at this size right here. Look at the 3 of the oranges that we have on here. So I'm extremely excited about this, and I'm extremely excited about the potential when it gets bigger. And because remember, a orange tree will grow maybe about 10 feet tall, and this should be producing a lot of oranges. Very happy with this guy right here. Okay, the apple guava here. You see the apple guava plant? It actually started getting full. I'm really happy with the fullness of this. And we have one apple guava that is starting right here. You can see. I didn't expect it to produce anything yet this soon either, because we just planted this. This is another one of the plants, the seedlings that we got from Tagaitai. And you remember the little lemon tree that we planted. Oh, this has been in here for over a year, maybe a year and a half. And it hasn't done anything so far. It's actually kind of been stunted, hasn't really been producing anything, but I can see already the first lemon is growing right here. And I don't think this is going to be anything like the Jurassic Park lemon tree that's over there. I think this is going to be a regular lemon. I'm real happy. I trimmed this morning because this one was stringing up way up to here, but if you keep it rounded and if you trim it back, it will help producing more around this area, and it'll be more uniform with its growth. And that's what I'm shooting for with this. Now I want you to look at this. This wasn't supposed to do anything. This is a papaya right here, and this was a papaya I don't remember where I got this seedling from, but it came from one of our other papayas, I think, around the backyard. And this is a male. It doesn't do anything. It produces a bunch of these little things, and I think this helps with the cross-pollination. It has long stems that I actually cut them all off. I think I got all of them, but all of these little stems on here, and again, it doesn't do anything. It's still in a pot. You see the pot here? And it's sitting inside. It's not very deep, but it's inside there, and I have to remove this, but I don't want to remove it right now because it's actually giving a little bit of shade. It's kind of helping out inside the raised bed garden. Speaking of the raised bed garden, remember the pineapples I planted? Here's the pineapple. I don't see the shoot coming up yet with the pineapple, the new pineapple on it yet. This is pineapple from Tagaytay. This is pineapple from Calamba. These are bigger ones, but the smaller ones, this is the one I got from Michelle. Remember Roy and Michelle down the road from us here? They gave me a pineapple way back when, and I saved this, and it's still growing, and I'm hoping to produce many of these smaller, very sweet pineapples that I got from Michelle. Back over here, we got the aloe vera. This is the aloe vera I got from Sean. Remember Sean Pascali? Sean dropped this off for me, and we want to make sure that we have some aloe around here because I get so many cuts. You can see I got cuts all over my legs from banging into things. Another pineapple plant over here. A banana. I think this is a dwarf banana plant, and I can't remember. My mind is failing me right now. I can't remember where I got this dwarf one from, but it's starting to do good, and we'll probably put it out in the yard somewhere. This is the ginger plants. Look at the ginger plants. As a matter of fact, Ness said to me today, let's get some ginger from the ginger plants. She wants to make some ginger tea. So we have plenty of this right here. Now this plant, although it looks like a weed, it looks like these weeds on the bordering lots that we have right here. It's not a weed. This is actually something that I can't remember the name. It's sort of like a mosquito repellent, like the citronella type of a plant, but it actually, we sit these on the back of the porch back here, and it helps keep the mosquitoes away when we sit out in the evening time. We have another calamansi. This is a calamansi. It was extremely high. It was almost, it was like, about this high, and I cut this guy back because I wanted to get a little broader back here, but this hasn't produced anything. I can't remember if this is calamansi or calamondin. I think it might be a calamondin plant, but we're gonna have to pull it out of the raised bed garden. It's just sitting inside there as a placeholder. We got a couple more of the papaya, but I think these are male papayas also. These aren't doing anything. This guy's gonna have to go. We'll get rid of him later on. He's not doing much except for helping with maybe cross-pollination. Right, I don't know if you remember, before we left, I planted 3 of the papaya, the Pink Lady variety. This one is doing great. Remember, these are sort of a dwarf variety. They don't grow really super tall, well, I don't know if you could, we'll go to the other side, we'll take a look at the other one. But this one is starting to get, look at the papaya we're getting on this one, and it will stay relatively small, but this is a bad place. I planted 3. I planted this one here, I planted this one right here. This one was planted at the same time that one was planted, as well as this one right here. They are all Pink Lady, but for some reason this is the only one that really took off. But this is a bad place because we're getting too much shade back here, and I need sunlight back here for the grass to grow. We had a problem with that before when all the banana plants were back here, and what we're gonna have to do is transplant it. I am going to try my best to transplant this Pink Lady over to this spot right here, where this is where the koi pond is going to go in. Whether we start that this year or next year, this is where the koi pond is all going in. Now this is one of our original papayas, and I want you to see this guy right here. Look at all the papaya that we have. It's bundling up like crazy up here, but I'm going to need a ladder to go up there and get this. I don't believe I've seen them cluster up as much as this one right here. So we'll get plenty of papaya for our breakfast and for smoothies off of this one right here. If you remember, we planted lacatan banana plants before we left, and they were all pretty small down here, but we're getting some height to it, but so far no bananas yet. They're brand new, so I don't expect to get anything until probably around November or December is when I expect to start seeing. Maybe, hopefully, we get some blossoms on this one right here. We have lacatan on this side, and we also have lacatan on this side as well. I wanted you to take a look at the dragon fruit back here. I need to get more sun to it. Here's our dragon fruit, and it was only about this size right here. Look where it's growing out. It has grown over the last 3 or 4 months, this extended area right here. And these are the plants we got from another one of our neighbors here. And these were throwouts. They were throwing these away with the little red flowers and all on them. And I put them back here, but they grew like crazy over the time that we were gone. Coconut, we have 3 coconuts that are going to stay back here. It's like a triangle. This one is going to go away. Those 2 are going away. They're in pots, by the way, so they're not going to grow very big. But we're going to keep this one on this corner, the one behind the kubo, and this is the one that we got from our friend Ramil in the barangay. Now these are the Chico. We planted 2 Chico plants before we left. They're not getting big, but they're very healthy looking. So at some point they'll have a growth spurt. I guess they take a little bit longer to grow, but I'm really anxious. These are beautiful plants, and I love the Chico fruit that come off of them. Also, just for looks, for aesthetics, this is the Eugenia plant with the lilies along the bottom, and those are doing really good as well. Eugenia plants are very popular here in the Philippines. Very good for ornamental, decorative type of plants. Great for plant pots as well. And over here, again, these are the red palms. This is the one that the pups ate when they were growing up, Marianne and Hapon's pups, and it is starting to come back. This one's starting to get healthier. For some reason, this one right here, I don't know what's happening with this one. I'm going to just keep babying it. Hopefully it will come back. And this one is doing good here. It takes a long time, a very long time, for the red palms to grow, but they are so beautiful when they mature. This is my garden. I started working yesterday. I ran out of the weed eater string. I started doing a little bit back here, and I got to clean up along the back area back here. It needs to be cleaned up a little better. But the yellow palms are doing great. All the other plants are doing great here, as well as Nessa's Zen garden. Nessa's Zen garden is over here, and Nessa's Zen garden is doing quite well. I noticed just shortly before we arrived back, our gardener was doing a lot of trimming. We got to cut this guy back. He's getting too big. And also the rocks have to be cleaned up. I don't know what happened with the dirt inside here. I have some fabric material, some landscaping fabric material that's coming in from the US in a Balikbayan shipment. And what we're going to do, we're going to remove the rock. We're going to place the fabric material to prevent the grass from growing in and make it a lot easier for our gardener, so he doesn't have to do so much weeding in this area. That's going to be a pretty big effort. We got to wait for that to come in. I don't expect to see that for another 2 or 3 months for it to come in from our Balikbayan shipment. Now, I kind of want you to look at the grass. The grass is doing great here. It's not really sunny today. I'm standing here. It's actually drizzling right now. You'll see the little brown spots, and the reason is all brown spots because I cut this yesterday with the lawnmower. And a lot of the grass here, my gardener, he allowed some of the grass to get too high, and if you let it get too high, when you cut it down, you'll get brown spots, but they'll fill in with the amount of rain that we've been getting here lately. This will fill in with greenery very quick. I kept asking him while we were gone to keep adding a little bit of topsoil here on top of the grass blocks, and it's almost filled in all the way. Just a little bit more over here, and I'm trying to get it all to look just like this here. The driveway going down is doing great. The driveway is, he put some soil inside here. This is all filling in really nice. Now you remember the fencing material, the screening material that I put down here. You see this? It worked perfectly over the entire time. There is no debris anywhere inside the bottom of the drains. The drains stayed perfectly clear. Nothing got clogged up. So when you're designing your drainage system, please reference some of the videos that I did here with the build of the drainage, especially if you have, like what we have here, if you have a garage, anything that's underneath the level of the soil and you need to get water away from your house. This system worked perfectly, absolutely perfectly. The drain here, we have the drain here, And this strain is mainly from the stuff from the roof and the floors on the upper levels, and it takes that and it takes it to the storm sewer. I still have to trim this. I ran out of the trimming string, so this all has to be trimmed as soon as we go shopping and pick up some more of that. And the grass in the back, I don't know, I didn't talk about that when we were back here, but the grass is looking absolutely great back here. It's doing fantastic. It needs a little bit of topper in some areas where it's thin, like this right here. I want it all to look just like this right here. And I see my battery's getting a little low, so I'm just gonna look at a couple other plants. And what kind of surprised me was the mango, the Indian mango here. I expected the Indian mango to get much bigger. It only grew like about 6 inches, maybe about 10 centimeters or so. It grew, but it's very healthy, but it didn't grow as big as I thought it was, because you can see, look at the size of the trunk down here. This is gonna be a pretty dominant tree in the backyard here, but we'll keep it pruned back. Again, the Indian, doesn't grow as big as a lot of the native mango trees, which basically if you had one of the regular native trees around here and you put it in the center, it would take up the entire back lot of Villa Feliz right here, but we'll keep this one trimmed. But what really surprised me was the jackfruit here. Look at the jackfruit, how big it grew. I was really surprised, and it's extremely healthy. I don't know when it will start bearing fruit, but we'll keep an eye on this as well. Now remember, I also told you there were some things that surprised me that I thought would grow much bigger, but didn't. This is the Centaures. I was expecting these to grow a lot bigger, and these are sort of like, they look about a little bit bigger than the size of a tangerine when they grow. I have 2 of them back here, and we planted these not too close to the end when we actually departed for our vacation back in the US. They are healthy. So I expect these to do well over the growing season. We'll just keep an eye on them as well. I don't know if I talked about this mango. When I was talking earlier about how the giant mangoes grow, the mango trees that would take up the entire backyard. Well, this is a seedling. I grew this, remember, I believe I grew this from the apartment before Villa Feliz was, oh, it's raining. I gotta go back up. But we're gonna talk about that from back over here by the house. The rain is coming down. Hey, well, the rain is coming down. It's good. I actually watered this morning. I didn't think I didn't need to water. We've been getting a lot of rain here lately. I can barely see through the glasses. The glasses are covered with rain right now. But what I was getting to when I was back over by the raised bed garden with that mango seedling, what I am going to use that for is stock. It's going to be for the base stock to do a graft. So I'm going to pull a piece off of this mango that's over here. This is a dwarf mango. I'm going to take that and I'm going to graft it onto the mango that I have, the seedling over there. It will produce a very nice and very quick to grow a mango, or dwarf mango. I don't know where we're going to put it, but we'll find some place to put that as well. But anyway, that's it for some of the updates on the yard. I'll show you later on, since it's raining right now, maybe in an upcoming video, we'll take a look at all the growth that happened on the outside along the perimeter. The foxtail palms, the standard palms is going on the outside. Everything is doing really good, and we'll do updates with that later on, like I said. Now, as promised, I said earlier in today's episode that I was going to talk about a few items that we thought were not working, and a couple of them were not working. One of them was something, it was for me, I made a mistake. And the first item, I'll tell you, which was not a problem, is in the basement. You know, in the basement we built we have a comfort room, a bath, a shower inside the basement. And it has, remember, that really neat integrated into the wall, recessed in, the hot water heater, the electric hot water heater, which is unlike the solar hot water heater on the roof for the first floor and the second floor. But for the basement, we have a independent, I can't remember, it's a German brand that we have in there. I think it's AKG or something like that. And I took a shower yesterday, the day before yesterday, after working out in the yard, because I take the shower in the basement because I don't want to drag dirt upstairs. So I went inside there, and there was no hot water, no lights came on or anything. But the cool shower was good. It was really refreshing. But I had to find out the problem. So I tested it at the local unit, and there was no power going to it. So of course you always go to the breaker box. I went to the breaker box, And this is tip of the day when it comes to labeling. Make sure you have good labeling on all your breakers inside your breaker box. This one had between two breakers, it had solar hot water heater or solar water heater or something like that, and it seemed like it ran across between two breakers. Now when I left the house, another tip of the day is when you leave for an extended period of time, always turn off your solar hot water heater if it has an auxiliary electrical input that helps you on cloudy days where you don't have enough sun to produce hot water. You don't need it running when you are gone. You don't need it producing hot water all the time. So I shut the two breakers off, but one of those two breakers went to the hot water heater inside the basement. So all I had to do was flip that on, and that was taken care of. So that wasn't a problem. That was just my brain not thinking properly before I left. But the importance is make sure everything is labeled properly in your breaker box, which in one of our Balic Bind shipments, we have a label maker, and I'm going to go through every single one of the breakers, and we're going to correct that when that comes in. Now, two other things that we thought were not working properly. If you look over my shoulder, you see the windows on the top. They're not open. Those are electric windows. Remember, there's a remote control inside the house, and there's a motor inside there, and they open because they're so high up that you can't reach and open those windows. So it's electric by remote control. We can't get them to open, and I believe it's the batteries. I tested the batteries inside the remote control, and although they are 3-volt batteries and they're right at 3 volts, most of the time batteries require just a little bit above the rating. So if you have like a 1.5 volt battery, most of the time it comes in brand new over like 1.61 volts. 3-volt batteries will come like 3.1 something volts, and if they get below or right at the same voltage, sometimes it won't work. So I had to order. I couldn't find them downtown yesterday when we went downtown, so I had to order 2 of the CR 2025 batteries, and we'll see if that won't fix it. If not, then we got to look into something else, but I think that's what the problem is on that. And the final thing that wasn't working when we got back is right here inside the garage. And as you can see, the hood is open on the Hilux. And you're probably saying, James, why is the hood open? Well, as many of you can probably ascertain by now, seeing the little charge unit, the battery died while we were gone. So I am doing a charge up on the battery. I let it run a little bit last night. I had to go down, and that was the purpose of the visit. The trip into town yesterday was to pick up a battery charger. So I have a battery charger here right now. It's been running several hours. The way it normally works, the totally discharged battery will be very high on the amperage meter on here, and then as it charges up and it doesn't need to charge anymore, it will go down to 0 when it doesn't require any more charging. It was around 3, it's around 2 now, so obviously it is doing charging, but I want to test it. So let's go ahead and test it now and see if it has enough charge to go ahead and start this bad boy. About it for today. I just wanted to give you an update, let you know that we're back in town. We need to make our connections with our friends and family back in the barangay, and we just need to get started again. So I want to make it short, and then we'll get our regular videos out on a regular basis. So anyway, if you enjoyed today's video, please give us a thumbs up, please share, and if you have not subscribed, just click on that little My PI Dream heart in the bottom right hand side of your screen. You'll be subscribed and you'll be notified the next time we upload a new video. So until such time, you have a wonderful and blessed day. enjoyed today's episode and you would like to see more just like these, just click on one of the helpful links over to your right and you might be able to pick up on some good information on DIY projects, how to, or if you are interested in moving to the Philippines and building, you'll find answers there as well.